We start with the Mike Hussey decision. Can you talk us through how that sort of unfolded?
Yeah, to be honest, I was really disappointed how it was playing out in the media. Because it's been so hectic, he and I caught up yesterday morning. I'll keep what we talked about private, but the result was what I expected it would be actually. So I'm glad we've spoken face to face, and as I said, the result's probably what I expected it to be.
So you're disappointed he's not playing, or you can't play?
Yeah, I am. I mean, obviously, someone like Mike Hussey, you'd have him play for you any day of the week. But I picked up from him, even at the start of the season, when he wasn't available for the first 6 games, and then he wasn't going to be available for the whole time. That just didn't seem like Mike Hussey to me. I mean, he's the guy who gives 100% as much as anyone I've ever met in my life, and there's a few red flags went up with me a few months ago, to be honest. So we talked it through, and his heart's not really in playing Shield cricket now after finishing with Test cricket, and I get it. I understand, and I really respect his decision. And now it's time for us to move forward and keep backing some of the young guys we've got who have done a good job so far.
So that keeps going in the direction you want to take the team, obviously, the youth that you've been bringing through?
Yeah, we have, but I've said all summer, we haven't necessarily gone for a youth policy as such. We've just picked the best 11 players to play every game. So, and they happen to be the best players happen to be young in West Australia at the moment. So that's a bonus in a way. I know how important experience is. We've seen that during the Scorchers campaign, but these kids have to get experience somehow, and the only way we can give it to them is by playing them. So it's exciting. It's exciting to see Ashton Turner and Marcus Harris and Cameron Bancroft and a few of these other young kids playing cricket for Western Australia.
Is Shield got a higher sense of priority for you now? Big Bash is over. Is this the one to...
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Wednesday. I'm really looking forward to Wednesday and getting back into Shield cricket. It'll just slow things down a bit. You know, I can walk a few laps of the oval during the match and drink 4 or 5 coffees and just enjoy watching our guys develop and playing Sheffield Shield cricket. It's certainly different getting the Warriors clothes back on and getting the red balls back out. But you know, we had a good lead up to Christmas, and then we've obviously had a fantastic BBL. So now it's time to get back to the grindstone and work hard and see what we can do with the remainder of this season.
So just on Hussey again, was it because he couldn't play all fixtures?
No, you know, on the surface that's what it looks like with Huss. It's on the surface it looks like, and there's a lot of talk that I said that, you know, if he can play everything or nothing. It was more that the very fact that he wasn't able to play the whole thing, that was when as I said, the red flags went up for me, that he wasn't, you know, really 100% committed to playing the whole season, and even some cricket before Christmas. So on the surface it looks like that, but there's probably more to it than that.
Big opportunity for Michael Beer in this game?
Yeah, it's amazing how life turns out, isn't it? Ashton Agar got an incredible opportunity at the expense of Michael Beer last year with his injury. So, you know, the opportunity is a wonderful thing. I keep talking about it, and I'm sure first I've seen Beery smile for 15 months. So let's hope he keeps smiling and relaxing and has an impact on this game.
You mentioned having those 2 guys, and they've obviously both got ambitions for higher honours. Is it realistic to think you can keep both of them in the squad long term, or do you think realistically one of them is going to have to look for opportunities elsewhere?
Well, if you look around Australia, it's really hard. It's like a wicket keeper. There's only one spin bowler, there's only one wicket keeper. And if you look all around Australia, every state's got 2 or 3 spinners really. So, you know, we're thrilled to have them both here. They're both very important part of our squad. They're both committed to Western Australian cricket for the longer term. So, you know, I think I'd be surprised if they look outside of Western Australia.
Justin, a word on Hoggy in his World T20 selection?
I'm thrilled for Hoggy. I mean, he's the biggest clown you've ever met. He's a 43-year-old going on 13, but that's probably why they picked him. His energy's infectious. He's great to have around the group, but more importantly, his bowling's been sublime. I mean, his bowling this BBL has been unbelievable. He had one poor game, and for a leg spinner, that's unbelievable in itself. He didn't bowl very well at the MCG, but the other 7 or 8 games he played were incredible. So he's at the top of his game, and you know, like Brad Hodge and Brad Haddon, it's an inspiration to everyone that, you know, age is no barrier. So no, it's great to see. I'm thrilled for Brad Hodge.
So given his form, were you expecting that he was going to be named in that spot?
Yeah, I did. I thought he was if Australia keep going down the line of rewarding performance and picking the best players, well, he's the best player in the BBL. So I think it's a great selection.
When 2020 cricket first came in, it was slated as a young man's
That's a
game.
good mo.
Oh, thanks. 4 months in the making.
Is it? Yeah, good mate.
It was slated as a young man's game, but we've seen how vital the experienced players have been in, BBL and other 2020 competitions. Do you see a trend towards that older players will kind of dominate?
Yeah, look, I've said all throughout this whole campaign, the more I watch 2020 cricket, the more I come to recognise that the senior heads are the ones who make a difference. In fact, in most cricket, to be honest, but in BBL, because you're under so much pressure all the time. As a batsman, you got to score off every ball. You got to be looking to hit boundaries every ball, which puts you under pressure. As a bowler, they're trying to hit you for 6 every ball. So you're under the pump there. And in the field, because of the atmosphere, and we've seen how close the competitions have been, that you're always under the pump in the field. So usually it's the senior heads who can just zen out a bit and stay cool and keep a calm head or a cool head that have an impact on these games.
So Australia's decision to go with Hogg, Haddon and Hodge, how much of an advantage is that on the world stage?
No, I think they're all fit as well. I mean, if they were 43 and unfit and slow and poor in the field, it'd make a difference. But Brad Hodge and Brad Hogg and obviously Brad Haddon outstanding in the field. So that's the biggest thing that goes with age, in my opinion, is they usually get a bit slow and stiff in the field. All those 3 guys, that isn't the case. So I think it's a really good strategy. In fact, it's a strategy Darren Lehman's done well since he's become coach. He's got the senior players in there, and it's no surprise to me they're getting some success.
What impressed you about Marcus Harris since where he was at the start of the year?
I think Marcus Harris is really maturing. I just sense that. I've watched him play. I watched him bat in Brisbane last week. He was a standout batsman against Harris and Siddle. He's got a couple of hundreds for Scarborough this year, which is a good sign. He's worked very hard on his fielding. He was very clear at the start of the year from our end of year review what he had to improve. The fact he's got a couple of hundreds, he played very well against England at the start of the season. He's been waiting for the opportunity, and look, he's an interesting case. He's only 21, and he's played in and out of 3 years of Sheffield Shield cricket. So he's been around a bit now, and I know how much he's looking forward to this opportunity. He's worked very, very hard on his game throughout the winter. He stayed home instead of going to England, and I think he deserves to be rewarded for his performances.
I know you'll be focusing on the Shield match, but can you just get your thoughts on Australia taking on South Africa? How do you think the series is going to play out?
Oh, it's going to be a great contest. I think Jark Callis leaves a huge hole in South Africa's team for his all-round performance, and also for that senior head in the team. With Australia going in with Siddle, Harris, Johnson and Lyon again, I think it's nice to have that settled lineup. I'll be interested to see what the batting order is with George Bailey coming out of that successful team. So Australia will go into it, I imagine, feeling full of confidence. And Australia also have, in the last 10 years or so, have had great success in South Africa. So look, it's going to be a good contest, but I think Australia will be really looking forward to it and really up for it.
Which of the batsmen do you think will come in? Obviously, you'd like to say Sean.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to be as interested as anyone to see who comes in, whether it's Doolan or Phil Hughes, Sean Marsh. I mean, all of them, you imagine, will do a really good job. It'd be interesting to see if the selectors, now Sean's come back, he was initially selected, whether he jumps ahead of Phil Hughes at least, and then, who they're going to go with Doolan, I'm not sure. So I know he is as hungry as I've ever seen him. We saw that, the fact he played on Friday night and did so well. So he's really ripe for the picking, so hopefully he'll get the nod.
I think the last ball you faced in South Africa, you got sconned, and it was very exciting and all that.
What was exciting about it?
Well, it was exciting for
My
everyone
mum
else.
didn't think it was exciting.
No,
I don't think it was
the
that
captain was
exciting.
pretty weak, not letting you go out and bat again.
I didn't need to, thankfully.
Is that something that's been lost a bit, the physical danger of cricket, the fact that, there's 4 blokes that are going to bowl 145 Ks in the first test match tomorrow, but you don't really see those elements of thrilling danger that we saw this summer and obviously happened to you.
Or maybe the batsmen are just better these days. I don't know. I can guarantee you the 6 batsmen or the 7 batsmen who walk out for Australia and the 7 batsmen who walk out for South Africa, in the back of their mind, they'll be petrified of getting hit. So it might look like that on the TV, but I can assure you there's still that dangerous element. And they're harder, they'll know they're alive. When you're playing Morkel, Stain and Philander, So I say that again, when you're playing Morkelstein and Philander, or you're playing Harris, Johnson or Siddle, I promise you, every one of those batsmen will know they're alive. The adrenaline will be pumping, and they'll be, some if it hits you underneath the helmet, it's usually a badge of honour. If it hits you in the helmet, it's not that much fun. So, but they'll be alive, and that danger element you're talking about, I promise you, it's still there.